It is written into the law of the various country estate that proviso, that's it, inhabitants, population, fight for as battle as of war, for its sovereign monarch, premier, president, queen, king, or mayor. But since early 1500s, the reign from King Henry VIII, particularly from the implications with the having ceased to be at war with France over some hundreds of years, we arrive with Anne Boleyn working for the French court before she married King Henry VIII. By the time we see her lose her head to 1536, and that by 1545 the sinking of the Mary Rose, the great ship which you see sink, was of Henry 2 years before he died off the coast of Portsmouth. Looking at the piano, we see the scenes of battle. We see the CADIZ, which not easily remembered, for instance, as Battle of Britain or Battle of Moscow or the Siege of Paris. We see that there has been a battle, and there will always be battles. Maybe your grandfather or your great-great-uncle fought at Waterloo. No, it's too long ago, 1815. But maybe they'll fight at Somme, 1916, or at Amiens, 1918. But 100 days later was the armistice on the 11th of the 11th, 1918. Looking at the piano we see, but we do not remember, CADIZ. But CADIZ explains two ships which, under one name, two standards of a man and a woman, body and soul. We see the Mary Rose by 1669 returned from Cadiz with 3 damaged masts, but safe, intact. Where having 100 years or more before the first Mary Rose sink, only to be rediscovered many hundred years later on the 14th May 1966. That when we look at 1702, you say, what has happened in the last 50 years? You say, what has happened in the last 50 years? That the Mary Rose, which was named from its first name in 1654 when it was built as the Maidstone, was renamed the Mary Rose from the restoration of the monarchy in 1660. What have we had? We had the dissolution of King James II and the 7th of Scotland, 1687. We see the instigation of the landing, the second invasion of William of Orange in Cornwall. who takes to the throne was Mary. Queen Mary, who lived till 1694, and William himself until 1702. But in 1702 we see again this siege and battle of CADIZ that sends this general wondering what he is fighting for. A monarchy, a world, a sea. I look at this piano, I look at these pictures, and what do I see? I see that, you see, there has been a battle. That this time in 1702 it is under the instigation of the first Duke of Marlborough, the ancestor of Sir Winston Churchill. Through the 1700s we see the problems with France. We see the revolution. Subsequently in 1789 we have seen the wars of succession, and we see CADIZ featuring amongst all the problems with succession, monarchy, Austria, Philip II and Spain. See all these problems. And then as if Waterloo was so far ahead as for battle, almost would seem impossible to predict that a war waged on land would see so great an empire, so destroyed as France, potentially an empire, with no future under Napoleon. But certainly you remember Trafalgar in 1805, but you forget that in 1810, under General Wellington, CADIZ was itself again under siege. What is greater than spirit or body? What is greater that embodies the soul, or that the soul embodies the body? Wherein brand is any greatness by such an emperor as Napoleon? But looking at this piano, you see it has come through many hundreds of years since 1709, its invention by Bartolomeo Cristofori in Tuscany, through Vienna, Austria, come through Germany, yes, manufacturers like Silbermann. But these are only ideas that give, by 1810, 1821, the prospect of new inventions to people like Sebastian Erard, who invented the address and the double escapement action. I look at this piano and I see CADIZ, I see there has been a battle. But wherein is band is no measure of excellence, but wherein is passion is measure of the master and the commander. Oh my captain, oh my captain. This piano scene is CADIZ. It may not be remembered as Trafalgar, but its greatness is in some hundreds of years from the time of even Richard II, so much greater than Richard III, who the Battle of Bosworth had such strange loss of life, with such humpty back. That great warrior by spirit will achieve the victory rather than some ornamental triumph. Explicitly brand. You are looking at which Skittles Trafalgar. Skittles is only the name of the film. You are looking at the piano performed to the realms of the empire that was explained by three generals. First Duke of Marlborough, the ancestor of Sir Winston Churchill, General Wellington, 1810, and General Napoleon Bonaparte. You are looking at many kings, many queens through CADIZ. You are looking then at the many journeys, many triumphs, some defeats they bring through CADIZ. That by journey's end is all laid to waste for each and every one of them. Where only one was King George III, 1805 Trafalgar, under his admiralship, Lord Nelson. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to play to you by passion that brand has no entity. Skittles Trafalgar, this piano I pronounce, I name this ship CADIZ.